Do you want to achieve great feats in Xenoblade Chronicles X? Do you like seeing a big number on the screen? Would you like to impress potential romantic partners at parties with your gaming exploits? But do you not want to suffer through random drops of melee attack spatas and 4 AUG slot sniper rifles? Well, I have the guide for you. It turns out getting both damage cap damage over time and the damage cap to display and point attack are both super easy. And this guide I'm going to show you how with the minimal gear possible. So first we'll start with the equipment. Most of the equipment that you need is actually you can get by fine with just shop equipment. I'll just show you the gear setup that I have. The sword you have, I just have a Ultra Diamond Spata. I mainly picked this one because I already upgraded it to have 3 augments. You can see that the internal traits, even though it has a potential boost, we're not going to be using any potential art, so it kind of doesn't matter. It just needs to have 3 augments. The sniper rifle can literally be any sniper rifle. This is literally just a random sniper rifle I had that I put an extra augment slot on. It just needs to have 3 augments. The Rare Gauze Eye Patch is an item you get out of a normal quest. I forget which one. I can put that in the description later. But basically you just need one of the eye patch items because they have Appendage Crusher, which is important for this. The rest of these are literally just shop gear that I bought at one point and I upgraded the melee attack traits on. Reginald Vest, shop gear, it's the light wear from Sakuraba. You just need to upgrade the melee attack up trait. Mother's God Gauntlet and Bracer are both shop gear. Bracer is actually better because you can upgrade it to melee attack 9. I just didn't have one that was upgraded and I was too lazy to do it. So both of these can be Mother's God Bracer, one can be Mother's God Gauntlet, it doesn't really matter. And Reginald Boots, that's just the pants from the shop that have melee attack boost. So as you can see, nothing special here. The only thing that's kind of special is the sword. The sword really doesn't matter too much. The sword attack power is not going to be super relevant for this. The main thing is that it just needs to have 3 augments. You can just upgrade that at L shop. The kind of important thing is the skells, which can be kind of annoying because you kind of need a lot of skell augments for this, and a lot of them are limited by this resource, Marine Rutile. I'm just using 2 skells here. Both of them are level 60, whatever. You can make them level 30. The important thing is that you have to have on one of them has to have some weapon that can inflict shock, which in this case is this one. This V-Knuckle is pretty cheap, I just had it around. Trident Anchor, which is a super weapon that can inflict shock 6, I believe is better. This inflicts shock 3. It doesn't really matter. The important thing is that you need to farm these augments called Shock Time X Shock XX. These increase the time of shock. Shock is a damage over time effect that naturally lasts about 10 seconds. These are just going to artificially extend it whenever we apply a shock. And you basically just need to stack as many of these as possible. This is a really expensive upgrade. It requires like 8 Marine Rutile, I think. Let me get you a check. Yeah, so this requires 8 Marine Rutile. I have 16. If at a minimum, I would say you want about 4 minutes worth, which is about 12. You can probably get by with less depending on how good your sword is, but I'll just put on 12 and remove some of the ones that I have already. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The other skell plus augment you need is going to be time X electric down. This is going to increase the amount of time that the electric resist down can be applied. And on the scale that has this, you need to have some art that can inflict electric resist down. It doesn't matter what level, it doesn't really matter, you just need to have something. And then this one, I would also put 12 augments. This one is relatively cheaper. It also uses this resource Marine Rutile. But instead of using 8, it only uses 1. So it's a lot cheaper to make, and Muddy Pelt you can just get for tickets or whatever, it doesn't matter. So this one's relatively cheap. The shock extend is going to be the biggest hurdle, but it's also really important. You can actually get by even without the electric resist down, but you need the shock extend. I would get 12 of each. I'll put 12 of each on my skells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the rest I will just remove. Take a point. Yeah, so 12. I'll actually remove the weapons that we're not even going to use, since it's actually better that way. That way the AI won't use nonsense arts. This one doesn't matter, you're going to be controlling it. So you want to control the shock extending skell, because that is kind of the only sensitive point here, because once you apply the main shock that we're going to use, you only have about 10 seconds to extend it. Okay, so gear-wise, nothing special. On your party members, you need to have Nilnail and Gajark. What, in render time? Anyway, and they need to have sufficient class experience such that that Nilnail has the art Conduction Rise maxed, and Gajark has the art Bahamut Wave maxed. The third member, I just have Cinicula for the sake of having an Ether Resist down via Black Butterfly. You can have Arena, you can kind of have anyone, but it's good to have a source of Ether Res down for this. Okay. So yeah, the main ingredients are you need to have some sort of capable melee attack build, an ether sword, a sniper rifle, and you need to have one skell that has, to review, it needs to have a shock art and a sufficient number of shock time extend augments, and one skell needs to have an electric resist down art and a sufficient number of electric resist down augments. I'm using 12 for each. That'll buy us 4 minutes of effect for each, which should be enough time. And these weapons that I have here, they're just random weapons. Just go with whatever gives you the most augment slots. You can upgrade them as you need. Build the rest of the build. My arts are going to be a lot of standard melee attack stuff. The only really important stuff is offensive stance. Burning Slash is just how I'm going to break the horn later. You can see I don't even have it upgraded all the way because I'm that lazy. And then Hercules Blow. The other arts you need are Howling Soul. Hawkeye I just have just because it's nice to have critical power. And the Intercept is going to give us the stun debuff, which will give us a little bit of extra damage. Cinicula here just has Black Butterfly to inflict Ether Resist down. Nilnail just has Conduction Rise. Gajark just has Bahamut Wave. This is all you need. Okay. So then we'll go to point attack. Now, we're going to take it slow. The only really time-sensitive part of this is going to be once you apply the shock. You should give yourself 8 minutes, because it's going to take a few tries to get the shock applied. If you are the type of person to do so, if your first Hercules Blow doesn't inflict shock, you can just reset the challenge and try again. Otherwise, you can just keep pushing for it. Okay. So first, you're going to want to target the horn. Once you get in your skill, Nail will get in her skell. It can be anyone's skell, really. It doesn't much matter. I wouldn't make it Celica's because you want the ether resist down. It can also be Gajark's. That's also fine. I'm gonna go behind the Cinicula here because one of the skells I have is background noise. I forgot to show the skills I should have realized. So I'm just set up for damage with in rough order of importance, Core Crusher, you know, Almighty Core Crusher, or Assault, which is going to give us an extra boost once we have offensive stance up, Mighty Muscle, which is a free boost to melee attack, Background Noise, which is basically just a free additive damage bonus, and then the one important one is Knock and Shock. Now this is going to apply the shock, but of course it is an 18% chance, which means that it may take a couple tries. That's why I'm behind. So start out in the skell because we want Nail to stay in the skell because we want electric resist down applied while we're setting up. I guess one thing that I forgot is that I have overdrive gain. I forgot to talk about the augments. Sorry. On the armor, I just have overdrive gain TP. This is just to make the overdrives a bit easier. On my sword, I have 2 melee attacks and 1 overdrive count up. That's how we're going to build overdrive. On my sniper rifle, I'm going to have 2 appendage crushers because we need 3 total appendage crushers to maximize damage on the weak point. If you have a sniper rifle with appendage crusher, feel free to use that. And then the last one is just going to be melee attack up because that's going to increase our melee attack the most. So yeah, nothing special. 1022 total melee attack. Let's see how we roll. Okay, so once you're all set up, get in the skell and target the horn. Then draw your weapon, get out of the skell, and just start activating it. Oops. Don't press the B button. Let's go. So, once you're all set up, you want to get in your skell, target the horn, and then walk behind the Cinicula, since we're making use of background noise. Then get out. You want to stay close to your skell because we're going to need to get to it kind of quick once we apply the shock. So now, just equip. And then this first part is just going to be building up overdrive by spamming a purple art. Once offensive stance is off, for sure you cool down, use that. Then use Burning Slash, which should break the horn. If it doesn't, just use it again. You can also use that to build TP, which is nice. Now we're at max. And now I'm just going to apply Offensive Stance, and Howling Soul. And then you want to target the weak point. You ideally want to wait until Ether Down is applied by Cinicula. And then I'm just going to use Hercules Blow. And you want to see if there is a shock marker that pops up. It's hard to see, but if you see it once you use Hercules Blow, that means they're good to go. And you need to run through your scalp. You want your Hercules Blow to do about a little over 48 million damage or over. That way you'll get to max DoT. Use it again. That one wasn't that good. I'll reapply my buffs. One thing that can be helpful, actually, is to use stun right before your Hercules Blow, because that'll give you a small little bit of damage, like 50% additive. I'll do that. That didn't do it just as well. Our ether defense wore off. Then Celica for reapplying it. So yeah, this part's kind of annoying because you're kind of just fishing. If it gets to be that you waste like 4 minutes without having one work, then you may as well restart. That's good, we have ether down 6. I'll apply my buffs while we wait. The jar will give you a lot of melee soul voices, which is nice for the extra little damage boost you get. I really am having horrible luck.
Bahamut Wave! Intercept! Run them through! Conduction Rise! Waiting to lash out! Offensive stuff up the top! We need some adrenaline! Intercept! Hercules Blow!
Hopefully this works.
Conduction Rise! Bahamut Wave! I've run them through! Intercept! I've been waiting to lash out!
There we go. So once you apply your shock, now it's kind of a hurry. You have to immediately run your skill, and then use your shock art. Then you want Nail to get in her skill, and you want the Jard to use ranged arts.
Come, my skell.
You can. I'm gonna. You don't even really need to do anything now. You just need to wait until electric resist down is applied. Then you can tell everyone to exit their skells. And yeah, everyone's using range attacks. So now, all you need to do is have Gajard repeatedly use Bahamut Wave, and which will upgrade the electric resist down, the shock, and the Conduction Rise up to level 6. Neil now will keep applying Conduction Rise, hopefully. And you literally don't need to do anything. In a couple of Bahamut Wave uses, hopefully, in a couple Bahamut Wave uses, everything should be upgraded to such an extent that we get to damage cap. You can activate Overdrive, it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it because I don't like Black Tar. It also helps for your allies to activate Overdrive for them to use their arts more often, of course. And as you can see, everything is getting upgraded and we're already at damage cap. And I'm not doing anything. The jar can upgrade the electric resist down a little more. And you can see our damage is going through the roof. And I'm not doing anything. Another good reason to use the Spatha over the Receding Rust is just that you get more TP, so you can just keep refreshing Overdrive while auto-attacking. And now, electric resists at 5. And the damage actually that you're doing every tick is over the damage cap. It's going to keep going higher than the damage cap, even though it's not saying so. If you check the damage count, it's actually higher than the damage cap. And again, not doing anything, not doing anything. I'm even going to put my controller down. We're coming up on the display cap.
I am losing my temper.
Oops.
Bahamut Wave!
Must be right.
I'm not doing anything.
Activating overdrive.
I'm literally on my phone. And we're at the damage cap.
Here I come!
Yep. Cool. So there we go. Damage cap. In reality, even though we spent 4 minutes of that time basically just fishing for shock, we did a total of 12 billion damage. So, easy peasy. Alright, so I hope that that was helpful in showing that this game is really stupid and broken and things are easier than they look. So if you like this video, I don't know, donate to charity or something. I don't really care about the engagement. Alright, have a good day.